So here we are, back on the road. It's February 2025, and I am back at Mayo. I'd finished at Port Cloy last time, and this time I've got Belmullet Island in front of me, so I'm hoping to make my way around the islands of Mayo. So it's beautiful, actually. First day, we're staying at Belmullet, and I've left everyone at the house, and I've gone on out first thing, first light, to try and get some paddleboarding done. So that's Belmullet in front, and these are the islands, and this is the lovely little harbour where I'm starting at, called Ring Row. And you can see the conditions are looking very good today. And so round the coast here is where I finished off last time at Halloween, Port Cloy, beautiful little beach. So I'm planning on paddling back around that way. And this is Ring Road. Out here is Belmullet, so I'm paddling out towards Belmullet as well. So lots to do today. This is the best day of the week, so get cracking. Wish you that. Okay, so that's me launching from Ring Row, and that's me out on the paddleboard, and this Kid Island in front of me. I'm making my way back round to Port Cloy, and a few rough patches, but generally pretty good. And there's some of the beaches in that area. So that was me heading off from Ring Row. And that was around Kid Island and then Port Cloy. And then that's me driving back to Belmullet. The first part done. And it's beautiful. The countryside around Mayo is really stunning. So I get back to the ranch, and the guys are out exploring. This is the sound really between the mainland and Belmullet Island. And we were staying at the harbour here, so I could easily look from the house out to see what the water's like. But I was a bit surprised to see how tidal it was as well. So obviously I couldn't head out when it's just mud banks like that. So I thought I would try and make some progress around the back of the island. So I sort of went over to where I'm opposite to where I'd been paddleboarding that morning. So Ring Row is over here, Broadhaven Bay, other side of the bay, basically. And there's a lifeboat station here, and around the lighthouse is on this side. So I've been paddling out. There's the islands. I'd see the rock formation on the other side. You can see it's quite close, really. It looks a lot further on the map. And sort of driving around outside the island, and some paddling. Coastline. So I have been gradually making my, just pulling in for a little rest, but gradually making my way around the back of Belmullet Island. It is stunning, I have to say. Beach, so many beautiful beaches. It's gorgeous, and actually the sea is right behind me, the Atlantic. It's pretty calm today, so I'm really lucky for February. A bit chilly, but I feel well wrapped. Anyway, gotta go. I'm gonna bump into some rocks here. Bye. That's the main thing, is that it's flat and calm, and very pretty, lovely landscape. And this is the far end of the island, this time at the harbour, Blacksod Harbour, which you can see. Nice little sandy slipway. And when the sun's come out. So here I am at Blacksod Harbour, and it's absolutely stunning. in a van truck here beside me. It's just beautiful. Like the sea is crystal clear and beautiful beaches, stunning scenery. I have to say, it's really gorgeous, and it's a really good day today for considering it's February and everything. And that's me taking off and heading on around. So that in the distance, Achill Island, again, not too far away, really, from the water. Just get the idea of it. Oh yes, there's actually a helicopter taking off. And as you can see, just really nice conditions as well. And this is back at the harbour again. Belmullet Harbour, which is just where we were staying. And now you can see the tide has come in. Sorry, that's the helicopter I was showing you. So this is the harbour. So here I am in Belmullet Harbour. And I'm just going to go out and have a feel around. I'm just going to do a little bit of paddleboarding. Where we're staying is literally up here, so I'll wave at the guys. And just going to get a feel for the currents, because it does look like it's quite strong here between the islands. That's Belmullet there. I've been doing a lot of paddleboarding around Belmullet today, so I am really tired. So I'm not going to do a whole lot. I just want to go out and get a feel for what the currents like out there, because it's high tide right now. And this morning it was completely mud flats, because it was it does seem to be very tidal here too. And here I am out in the water, and there I am. It's a bit blurry, but that's me paddling in towards the harbour, just getting a feel for it today. It's a lot clearer there. And then getting some rest. And it's a nice, really nice little place, Belmullet. There's been doing my yoga and my stretching and my rolling. And this is the local area, Blacksod Bay. So a lot of trying to time it, you know, again, I think that's the next day. Very low tide. And just seeing different parts of the island. And I passed this lovely sculpture when I was driving around to Dervlis Twist, which is a more modern one. I think it was built in 1993, but it looks lovely. It's just slabs of rock from the area that they propped up. And this is the back side of the island. You can see the beaches, and it's also nice conditions to get around. So I had a few days here just to cover Belmullet. And I was very pleased with my progress. Got a book. I was given a couple of really helpful books from a friend from Portrush, Rob Ruddock, who is an excellent, he's got a lot of experience kayaking and sailing, and he had very kindly given me some books to look at, and this was really helpful. There was a couple of books. One was just about how to get on and off all the islands around Ireland, and another was following a kayaker who'd paddled around. It was our birthday. Richard and I shared the same birthday. It was February, and it's a little break for that. And this is along the canal here. This is between really that's Belmullet on one side and Mayo, the mainland, on the other. So it's very narrow.
And again, a lot of the sailors in the area will say that's very strong currents around there, but actually it's fine for paddleboarding. And then we were heading to Achill, but I had a couple of good days. I wanted to do everything on Achill when I was staying in Achill, so I thought I would drive on round to the next part, which would have been, I was really keen to see what Westport was like. Clare Island, which is the south of Achill. So famed as home of the Parrot Queen of Clew Bay, Grace O'Malley. Clare Island is much more genteel reputation nowadays. It's very strong currents all around there though, but there's a ferry that crosses every day. So I've driven down to Runa Pier, which is where the ferry goes across to Clare Island. You can see it's just below Achill. And I went out from the pier here. And there's the ferry. And I had a really enjoyable paddle. I did encounter a lot, it must be a seal colony right there because they all came out. I always just try to be calming around them so they don't feel that I'm a threat or anything like that. I don't know what they think when I start talking to them. But yeah, they get braver and then they start coming in closer each time.
Lots of
All of a sudden, you're surrounded.
5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seals. Oh. Okay.
So then coming back in, there's the ferry. Keep an eye on the ferry. Obviously don't want to collide or anything with that. And then some more driving around to Clew Bay, which is at Westport. And this is Crowpatrick behind me. A little cloud over. So I thought I would launch from Westport Harbour and then go in and out around these islands, but unfortunately, that's what it looks like on a good day. And this is what it looked like when I got there. So it's
So as you can see,
low tide.
it's very low tide. There's Crowpatrick, quite a good mountains. And these are the islands in Westport.
Bearing in mind this is February, so it's kind of a
Not
wintry.
the best time of the day to be trying to do this. Might just wait a little bit and see if it fills up a bit, but the tide is coming in now. When I was here earlier, it was totally out.
So the tide's coming in, although the wind's picking up, and this is me out in the water.
Here I am paddling around the islands in Westport. This is Westport Harbour, and doing a little bit around the islands because finally the tide is coming in. So there we are. It's quite shallow though. Westport looks lovely, and we've got Crowpatrick over there in the distance.
So that's me paddling around. And this is Westport behind me. So I got a bit done, not a whole lot because the conditions weren't great. I knew I was going to have to come back and do some more here. But I was just keen, since I was so close, to see what Westport was like. I've heard a lot about it. And as you can see, it's a lovely town, lots of interesting like bars and restaurants. And very scenic drive. And then went to Munrani Pier on the far side, closer to Achill. So I paddled a little bit in here too. And when I got back to Belmullet, everyone's checking out the tidal pool for possibly swimming. And we did a bit of driving. This was probably us heading back over to Achill now, moving to Achill. And we came across this Ballycroy National Park, which is beautiful, but actually the attraction is to go there at night. It's designated International Dark Sky Park. First of its kind, built in Ireland, blissfully unpolluted skies seem vaster than anything you've ever seen. So again, another reason to go back to Mayo. More sheep on the road. And here we are on Achill. So yeah, the guys were going to play a little bit of golf as soon as we got on. Actually, it was kind of funny because there's sheep everywhere, probably because it's not a touristy time of the year. And even the golf course was covered in sheep as soon as we arrived. And then this is me doing lots of recce, so measuring all kinds of possible routes and going out to check out every single tiny little pier, looking for safe places to come in or come out if I need to, measuring it, checking the wind and the tide. And this is where we were staying, right up at the top near Bull's Mouth School up here. And that's the sort of driving route down to the bottom that I was planning on doing Achill Sound. And this is where we were staying. It's called Inishrua, which is where the crew stayed in who were filming the Banshees of Iniscrone, you call it. And thankfully, this accommodation had activities to do. We had a pool table and a little games room, which was really lucky because actually the weather was crazy. It was just massively stormy weather. So you can see there, even the football nets have been blown over. So Achill, and it's very stormy. So we're just going to do a recce, get familiar with all the piers and everything. So on the good side, I get a little bit of rest from paddleboarding, but it's a bit unfortunate to get very, very windy. It was howling around the house last night. In fact, I was worried about my paddle on top of the car. So anything happened to that. Worse tomorrow. Yeah, so it wasn't looking too good, unfortunately. But we did drive around and check out the whole of the island. So some of the beaches. You can see it's quite mountainous as well. And here we're driving around the side of the mountains. I mean, it is really stunning. It would definitely nice to go back another time when it's not so windy. I'm sure the beaches here are fab. When the weather's in the summer, weather's Keem Bay. So yeah, it was just disappointing. I didn't really get to do any more paddleboarding, but I just went up and down. This is kind of the end. This is Grace O'Malley's watchtower. So Clare Island is behind that, out in the distance. And she has a watchtower here as well on Achill. So yeah, you can see the currents. Like the locals all said the currents were really dangerous. So that was also a worrying factor. So I wasn't going to well, I couldn't have gone, it was too windy, but I was just trying to get as much information as I could because even when we arrived there, I was, pointing out where I wanted to go to the man who owned the accommodation, and he was like, "Oh no, don't go that way. Go that way." He wanted me to go the other direction. So I was already a little bit nervous. Anyway, this was learning a little bit more, doing some more research. This was just very helpful, this book, and because it said for the Achill Sound that the kayaker should manage the passage easily. So that was really good because the locals have been saying, don't go that way, it's really dangerous, the currents. But it's just different for boats and kayaks because on the kayak or paddleboard, you're just cruising over the surface. Mussel farms, or sorry, oyster farms. This was at the top of Bull's Mouth, at the top of the sound. Lovely unusual rocks. Just checking out for little piers in case when I did get round to doing this, that I knew where exactly I could get in or get out. More sheep. So it was good recce. We ended up going to the distillery. There wasn't actually a whole lot of the places open in February. Anyway, so that was that done. Anyway, so I came back on another trip. This trip, you can see the sun is shining. This was actually June 2025. So a few months later, the sun was shining. We were staying in August in this cottage, which was wonderful, right on the beach, right here. And the guys had come with me in the kayaks. We had a group of them, three male kayakers and a female, and we paddled from we did the Donegal Bay crossing. So we'd crossed from Donegal to Sligo, which I needed to do, and I was actually just happier with some company. And it was quite a tiring paddle, so I was just so pleased that the guys agreed to do another day. So this is in the car now. It's no mean feat. It was about an hour, so at least drive to Achill after a tiring paddle the day before. So this is us on the road, and this is us here now in Achill.
Here we are. Some a quick bite to eat before we set off. Thankfully, I've got company of Matt and Randy are joining me again today, and we are at Achill Island. So I tried to do this last time, but it was at gale force winds, so it was definitely not possible. So I used my last trip just to really study the route, and because it's very strong currents, the locals will all say the currents here are the strongest in the west, and it's very tricky for boats, but you do my research and it should be okay for kayakers and unfortunately. So it's nice, it's full, it's high tide, and it's sunny. It's just a bit windy. That's the only thing. We're hoping we're going to get some downwind, and that'll help us in the way. So heading from Achill, from the north to the south of Achill Sound today.
Yep. And here we are with all the kayaks and the boards. I have to do a shuttle service now, so we've got to take one car to the other end for to pick us up so we can put everything on it and bring everything back here. So it's a bit of organizing. This is us just about to set off at the north. And I was a bit nervous because I was worried about these currents, but so I was really glad to have the company. And that was the conditions for the day. This is us paddling along. See the bridge behind. And it was actually beautiful, and it was so easy. It turned out it was almost like being on a lazy river because we had the wind on our back pushing us down, and the tide was flowing the same direction. So we did this really quickly. And the scenery was really amazing. You could have almost just sat there and got carried down. So I was really, really pleased with that. It was a nice way to top off that trip. And look at the water, it's just beautiful, crystal clear. And there you can see Grace O'Malley's castle. That was such an easy paddle in the end. Lifeboats station, and this was us coming in at the end. Yay! So really pleased with that, and just some more photos of the area. So it was beautiful. Look at the color of the sea. And this is us, the team. Really pleased. It's a really nice finish. Open. Sorry, I'm here.
So just back in from paddling along Achill Sound. Yay! Achill Sound's done. And it was actually really, really enjoyable. Isn't it funny how sometimes things that you're most worried about turn out to be quite enjoyable? So it was, the wind was perfect and the tide was perfect. It was actually like being on a lazy river, and we literally just got carried really smoothly the whole way down and just came in here. Again, this tower, watchtower. So yeah, really happy with that. That's another one ticked off the box, and it was really nice having the company of Matt and Andy today in the kayaks. It's very enjoyable.
Sometimes you just need to have company just for safety, and that's us loading both kayaks and paddleboard onto the car, and that was that. So really pleased, and thanks for watching.